Yeah, guys. Okay, fine. So this is the point where I have stopped. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. See, parallel you can also see me. Okay, so this is what Parim Kumar. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So here, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. I'm closing my video part. Why? Because I'm unable to see. Okay. Okay. Fine. Parallel. Fine. Fine. Now there is no issue. Okay. So this is something about control structures. Fine. So this is a point where actually I have stopped. Okay. Now, see, this is indentation. Now, what is indentation? Yesterday itself I said indentations are mainly used for representing the block. So, if you see this example here, x is equal to 3, I am declaring one variable, okay, x, as and initializing some into 3. See, if x is greater than 5, okay, and then colon. Now, what is a colon? Colon is generally used for representing the suit. Is it right? Colon is generally represented for indicating the suit. Is it right? Yes or no? Okay, suit means what? Suit is a block. Is it right? So all the statements belongs to this if statement. And how to indicate the statements belong to if block? So they are indicated by giving the indentations. Okay, so indentations. Now what? See, the languages like C, C++, or Java, whatever it may be, what these languages will use, they will use braces, curly braces. Is it right? But here we are avoiding the usage of those curly braces. Instead of that, we are giving some fixed spaces for all the statements to indicate that these statements belong to this block. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So to indicate that this part of the statements which are having equal number of spaces, see most of the problems will come in this part only. Why? Because if you give an extra space to one statement, then that statement will be considered as it is not part of that block. Okay, so that could lead to an error. Even though if your program is correct, due to giving one extra space, so this could lead to a problem. Understood? Okay, so whenever you are typing any program and whenever you are giving any indentations in any block, okay, you should be very careful in giving the spaces. Okay, so like that, if you see here, you can see the diagram here. Block 1, all the whatever the statements are there in this block 1 are having equal number of spaces, indentations. You can have nested block also. Okay, for that all those statements should follow their own indentations. Okay, equal number of indentations. Block 3, then you can continue block 2. Then you can also, that is what, understood? Are you getting? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so have you understood how the continuation takes place? So
Yes.
here, so this block 3 here, the last, are you able to see my cursor? Cursor, is it right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this part of the statements belong to block 1. This part of the statements belong to block 2. So like that. Okay, so like that. So you should be careful while giving the indentations. Okay, and you can see the what definition. See, I have declared one if statement, and this is a colon. Okay, so this colon indicates the end of the header. Okay, end of the definition of the if statement, and this colon indicates that this part of the block is one suit. Okay, this is one suit is a block. It contains some set of codes. Okay, so like that, this is what something about if indentations. Now directly we go with if kind of statements. Now we generally know what is if statement. Okay, if statement is generally used for making decisions. So here we have one beautiful example. So x is equal to 8. I'm testing whether x is less than, that is 8 is less than 10. If it is true, okay, if it is true, then I will be able to print the x value. Then I'm declaring on variable 10, okay. Then I'm testing whether the 10 is greater than 5. Then I'm going to print one statement high. So like that, you know very well about this, okay. uh, Fine, okay, if statement. Now here else if, is it right? In C or Java or C++, we'll be using else if, is it right? But here we don't use that else if. Instead of that, we use elif. Okay, so we'll be using elif to indicate else if only, the same part. Okay, but ultimately it should end with else. This is what we already know. Okay, you are very clear about this. So here the syntax, you can see the syntax. Okay, if condition 1, then statements. If condition 2, then finally it should end with else. So understood? So we have some sample program, and please see the note. Okay, there is no switch statements in our Python. C and C++ or Java. Okay, we generally have switch statements, switch cases. But here we don't have such kind of statements. Okay, in Python. Okay, that is what one thing which you need to keep a note of it. Then iterative statements. So all this while, for, range. Okay, break, continue, pass. So while, for, and range are loop statements, and break, control, pass are loop control statements. Okay, what is the difference? These statements are they are going to control the loop. Is it right? Yes. So depending upon the situation, you can come out from the loop, or still you can continue it. Okay, there are some examples. We'll go ahead with that. So this is while loop. You are very, you know about while loop. Okay. See, only thing what you need to look is the syntax part. How to define the condition, while condition, and the header is ended with what? Colon, to indicate the end of the header. Then followed by some set of statements. So this while condition will execute until what? Until the state, until the condition will become, yes, until the condition is, hello. So this while condition will execute until what? Till the condition is true. Is it right? Till the condition is true, it keep on executes the block of statements which are there in the while block. Is it right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So like that. So this is what something about while loop. Next we go ahead with for loop. So here for is little bit different compared to other languages like C, Java, or whatever it may be. Okay. Now what is the difference is, see, the if you go to the syntax part, for iterative variable in sequence. Okay, please try to observe. See, this is one difference we have. For iterative variable in sequence. Now this sequence can be any data structure. This sequence can be any data structure. Okay, so any data structure means what? It can be a list, it can be a dictionary, it can be a tuple, it can be a set. Understood? So this sequence can be any data structure. Okay, now how the things will happen, how the things will work for the for loop is, see, for iterative variable, it is just a variable. Okay, in sequence, sequence is some set of data structures. Okay, now whatever the information which is there in this sequence, for every time, for example, if you see the example, see here we have an example for counter. So counter is the iterative variable in. What is in? In is a membership operator. Is it right? So this is some set of sequences. Now in this sequence, what actually happens means, initially the first element is there. Whatever the first element is there in the sequence will be applied to the variable, and we'll be using that variable for performing our task. Now once the task is done, we'll go ahead with the second data. Okay, the value 2 is given to the counter. Then we'll do process the statements. Then we'll take the third value. So like that, for every time, okay, for each time, one value will be taken in the increasing order. Okay, the first value will be applied to the counter, second value will be given to the counter, we'll process it, third value will be given to the counter, fourth value, fifth value, sixth value. So like that, how many values are there? Okay, all the values will be applied one at a time to the counter, that is the iterative variable, and we'll do the processing. So that is the reason we are getting the output as 1, 2, Theta 7, RAM 5. So understood, no? Understood about the for loop, and here we have header also, that is colon, to indicate the end of the header. Okay, that is the reason I said colon is mainly used for all the blocks, for classes, for all the control structures, for functions. Is it right? Okay, so fine. So this is something about for loop. Okay, now this is something about range. So see range. Now what is a range? So range is one kind of function we have in many languages where you can fix the boundaries. Okay, where you can fix the boundaries. So like starting address and ending address, you can access all the elements which are there in that range. So this is a syntax of the range. Okay, so that is a lower limit and the upper limit, and still you can have some increment or decrement options also. How you want to increment the range values. Okay, so this is what the syntax of the range. For example, see, range 1 comma 6 means what? And if I say print value, it prints all the elements which are falling between 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Understood? But not 6. Okay, but not 6. You should be careful about that. Okay, so whenever we are discussing about range, the initial thing will be considered but not the last part. Okay, so we'll be the last state, the last upper limit, whatever the limit is there, that limit will not be considered. So within that limit only. So understood? So this is something about the range. So see here, one more example we have. 0 6 2 means what? I want the lower limit is 0, the upper limit is 6, and I want to increment those things by 2 times. So understood, no? That is what initially 0. For that plus 2. Okay? Means what? 2 will come. For that 2, again if you are adding 2, then we'll get 4. So understood? So like that, you can increment the things as well as you can decrement the things also. This here you have another example. Okay? See. So understood? So this is, see here we have another functionality. We are changing the case from lowercase to upper. We'll see those things in the next concept when we discuss about string data structures. Okay, so this is something about range functions. Okay, you can directly use this range in wherever you want. Now break. Now what is the purpose of break? So break is generally used to terminate the loop. Is it right? So when you can put over some condition inside the loop, whenever the condition is matching, you can just come out from that point. Okay, you can terminate the loop and you can come out from that location. So this is what the break statement is used. And continue. What is the difference? What is the difference between break and continue? So continue will just skip that current iteration. Okay, it will. So based upon the condition, if you don't want to execute some part of the statements or the block itself, then in such kind of cases we'll be going ahead with the continue kind of statements. Okay, it will not. It will only skip the present loop instead of terminating the whole block. Okay, whole loop. It will just only stop iterating. Okay, stop considering. Okay, that block. Okay, so you know about all these things. Okay, so this one thing, the additional thing what we have is the pass, as you might have seen, or I don't know. Okay, so pass is some kind of iterative statement we have in Python. Now what is pass? Suppose you are just interested in testing the things. You are not interested in executing any block of statements. Just you want to test it. In such kind of cases, we are going with pass. Okay, just passing out. Okay, just skipping out. We are only testing the things and we are just passing out things. Okay, so for such kind of requirement, we'll be going with past statements. Okay, so next we'll directly go ahead with the data structures in the Python. So there are some list of data structures which are being displayed over there. That is a string, list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries. So we'll be discussing everything. Okay. So initially we'll start with strings. Now what is a string? In the yesterday itself I told how the strings are represented. Okay. So strings are some set of characters. Is it right? A word or anything which is enclosed in single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. And I also explained you regarding when to use single quote and when to use double quote and when to use triple, or you can have more number of quotes also. Triple quotes, or you can have more than that also. See here we have 6 quotes. Okay. So one thing you should be careful, like whenever you are declaring or whenever you are trying to access any strings, that is what declaring the strings, you should be very careful in these quotes. Why? Because while declaring a string, if you are using 6 quotes, if you want to end the string, okay, if you want to end the part of that string, you also need to end it with 6 quotes. That is what you should be very careful. Okay, suppose string hi is there. If I'm using one single quote, then you should end it with one single quote. Okay, suppose if two single quotes are there, then you should end with two single quotes. Okay, so like that, this is what one thing you need to take care while declaring the strings. Why? Because it leads to error. And also I said for characters we'll be using single, okay, quote. For words we'll be using double quotes. For paragraphs, if you want to give some documentation part of any statement, okay, then you can use double or triple or any sorry, triple quotes. Okay, triple or more than that. Now this is what about string. Now whenever you are creating a string like arrays, the strings have the index. Okay, so with the help of the index you can access the strings, and the index always starts from the 0. So is it clear? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, like array. Yeah, array. C and Java array all whatever the information which we are storing in the array. Okay, so all the elements in the array will have addresses, and the address starts from 0, and we'll be accessing those elements using by their addresses only. So here also the same thing. So index is there, and it starts from 0. Understood? And you can also access the elements from negative index also. Negative index will start with -1. Okay, and you can traverse from left to right. If you are accessing the strings from left to right, we use 0 as an index. Okay, suppose if you want to access the strings in reverse order from right to left, then still you can access by making use of -1. So -1 give you the last string. Okay, last character in that string. -2 will give the last second character in that string. Is it right? Any doubt you have? Okay, so fine. So this is something about strings. These are different types of operators. Okay, what we have: concatenation. You can concatenate two different types of strings. Repetition. So here star is mainly used for repetition. So repetition is mainly used for how many times you want to print that statement. Okay, and see the index. See, for example, here Python is a string. I want to access 0. Sorry, I want to access P. I want to access P. So how I can access? So 0 is the index of, for example, C. Uh, okay, so S is equal to okay, PYTHON. Okay, now S, what is it? S of 0. Okay, are you able to see the output? Okay, s of -1. What will be the output? Yes, what will be the output?
Um,
What is the output? The output is n. N. Is it right? Fine. So did you got the concept? Is it clear? So like that. So here, this is how strings, you can use the indexes for accessing the individual characters from the string. Next is slicing. Okay. So slice means what? Suppose if you want to access the intermediate or some set of characters in the string. Okay, if you want to access some set of characters, suppose in Python you want to access th or thon. Okay, recently we have seen range. Is it right? Like what does range will do? It gives it is fixing some boundaries. Is it right? So here slicing is an operator we have. It is indicated by square brackets. So mainly it is used for accessing the some set of characters which are there in that string. Okay, so this slicing again will have two indexes. Okay, the see two, Python 2 and 4. 2 is the starting index, 4 is the ending index. Okay, so you can start accessing the characters from second position till fourth position, but not fourth position. Please try to uh, note this thing. Okay, you can access this characters from second position till fourth position, but not fourth positions. Okay, you can't access the character which is there at the fourth position. For example, if you take Python, so 0 1 2 3 4. Understood? So that is the reason we are getting th. Okay, so since t is second one and h is a third one. Okay, so up to 3 only. Understood? If you are mentioning 4, you will be getting the data up to 3. If you are mentioning 5, you will be getting up to 4. So like that. Okay, so the last index is not considered. Okay, is it clear for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so next is the length. So length will give you the length of the string. Okay, so this is what I will give some other functions later on. I will forward to you. Next is the tuple. Okay, so tuple is an ordered group. Again, it is data structure. So see, tuples are strings and tuples are immutable. Now, what is immutable? See, we have something like mutable and immutable. Okay, some data structures fall under mutable, some data structures fall under immutable. Okay, so the string and tuples are immutable. Immutable means you can't modify the content, or you can't that is what, you can't change the words or you can't change the characters in the indexes. Understood? So they are fixed. Okay, for example, you have, see, tuple. So tuple is a data structure which can store any kind of data. Hello, is it clear? So tuple is a data structure which can store any kind of data. Okay, so any kind of data means what? It can store integers, it can have, you can mix it. Okay, you can mix it. Okay, so for example, I am creating a tuple. Okay, so tuple can be created by making use of two parentheses. Okay, so tuple 1 is equal to 2 parentheses. This is an empty tuple. I'm creating another tuple with only one element. So whenever you are creating a tuple with one element, you should use one delimiter, that is a comma. Okay, so please be careful. Please be careful here. Whenever you are creating a tuple and you have only one element to be stored in the tuple, then you should use a delimiter, that is a comma. This is must. Okay, so without that you can't access the things. Okay, so this is what how you need to assign a tuple if you want to store one element. Okay, so like that, a tuple if you want to store more than one, then this condition is not there. Okay, you can avoid this condition. Okay, so simply you can delimit them by commas. Okay, so tuple 3 is equal to sequence 1 comma sequence 2 means what? This tuple is containing two elements. Okay, so you can, here one example is there, customer is equal to parenthesis is must. By seeing two parentheses only, your python, your pvm come to know that it is a tuple. Okay, so here these notations are very very important. Okay, for example, for strings we are using quotes, single quote, double quote, like that. For tuples we are using parentheses. Is it right? And for another data structure we use some other notations, we will be trying to see them. Okay, now, so this is something about tuple. Okay, so tuples are data structure which can store any kind of data. They are immutable. Immutable means what? Once if we are creating the data structure, okay, once we are inserting the elements into the tuple, you can't modify it, they are fixed. Okay, that is what. So this is what some of the built-in functions what we have with tuple. See, compare, you can compare two elements of the tuple, you can get the length of the tuple, you can get the maximum element. Okay, what is the maximum value which is there in the tuple, minimum value. Okay, similarly you can convert the list into tuple. Okay, suppose SCQ is a list. Okay, which is, list is again a data structure we'll be seeing. You can also convert this data structure, that is a list, into tuple using this functionality. Okay, now we are directly going with a list. Okay, so list is again a data structure. It is also used for storing any type of data. It is just like an array. But what is array? Array will store only homogeneous data which is of same type. Is it right? Suppose if you are declaring array as integer, that array will store only integer type of data. Is it right? Yes, homogeneous. Okay, it is a collection of homogeneous data, same type. But here, list, you can store any kind of data in it. Any kind of data means you can store integers, you can store floating values, you can store, you can have strings, you can have anything it. Okay, so that is what the beauty of the list. That is how powerful the python is. Is it right? Okay, now creation of the list. Okay, so you can create list directly by making use of square brackets. Okay, so whatever the, see here I am creating a list, empty list with square brackets. Okay, I am creating another list, okay, with one single element. So here, see, you need to be careful in tuple. If you want to store one element, what is the thing which is to be required? One comma. Is it right? One delimiter is required. But here there is no such kind of restriction for list. You can store one element, you can store more elements also, but for storing one element in the list, this comma is not required. Okay, so please make a note of this also. And you can have any type of element. Okay, so same way, list also will have indexes. With the help of the index, that is address, that is the first, the index starts from 0. To access the first element from the list, you can use index as 0. If you want to access the second element, for example, I am creating a list here, languages. Okay, language is the list, name of the list. The first element of the list is Python, next is C, C++, Java and Perl. If I want to access Python, what I can do, simply I can say language of 0. Okay, simply I can say language within square brackets. If you say 0, you can access Python. You can say language of 1, you can get C. And here you can use slices. Okay, slice is also supported here. Suppose if you want to access multiple elements from the list at a time, you can access slice also. Is it clear? And you can also use the negative index also to access the list in reverse order. Okay, you can use -1. So language of -1 will give you Perl. Language of -2 will give you Java. Understood? From right to left. So this is something about list, and lists are mutable. What is mutable? Mutable means, see, in list of 0 there is Python. Okay. See, I will do one thing. Okay. See, I'm creating one list. Okay. So list 1 is equal to, so here it is 1 comma a. Okay, so like that I created a list. Okay, now what is that I'm saying? Fine. So list 1, sorry, list 1 of 0 will give you 1. Is it right? So list 1 of, okay, so -1 will give you a. So understood? Now the thing is, lists are mutable. Mutable means what? You can change. You can change the value which is residing in that address. For example, I want to change a with some other content. Okay, I want to update it. So list 1 of, what is the address location? 1. Okay, is equal to hi. Okay, so like that. So you can say print. Okay, print what? List 1. See, is it clear? Is it clear? Yes? Is it clear for you? Okay, like that. Okay, fine. So this is something about how lists are mutable. Okay, so fine. So these are some of the notations: an empty list, a list of integers, a list of mixed mode types, next a list of strings. You can have nested list also. Okay, a list within you can have another list. Okay, nested list also, a deeply nested list also you can have, a list within another list, and in that you can have another list. Okay, so how the things will be accessed, like matrices, like if you are performing matrix multiplication, 1 0 0 0 1 1 0, so such kind of mechanism is used for accessing the elements from the list. Is it clear? Do you have idea matrix multiplication? Do you have idea how matrix addition or multiplication will happen? Suppose you have declared two arrays. If you want to multiply it, how the multiplication will happen? So in the same manner, nested list also can be used. Okay, will be accessed in the same manner only for accessing the elements from the nested list. Okay, is it clear? Yes. Okay, fine. So this is something about list notation and examples. So these are some of the operators. Length will give you length of the list. You can concatenate the list. You can repeat. You can print the list elements multiple times. You can test it. See, membership operator, whether 7 is there in the list or not. You can test it. If it is there, you will get true as an output. Okay. Now see, for loop, for n in 137. Okay, I want to print all those things. Okay, you can use for loops. You can see, that is the reason I said sequence. This sequence can be a list. This sequence can be a tuple. This sequence can be a string. It can be anything. Is it right? Yes.
Yes.
I want to reply. Okay, so fine. So like that, you can start accessing from negative side. You can ask. You can start accessing positive. Okay, you can give directly index number to access the desired data. Okay, so like that, and you can also use slicing. See, slicing. See, just to concentrate here, n the starting index, and there is no ending index. Then what actually it means? It means that what, you can access up to the last element. Okay, suppose if I write n of, I'm not giving any starting index, then directly I'm giving the ending index. Means what? Directly I'm considering it from what? From where? From the starting, from where? Hello? Hello? That's what. See, for the slice operator, few things need to be considered. Suppose I am giving the starting index, I am not giving the ending index. If that is the case, then what happens? The list, you can access the list till the last element. Okay, this is one case. Suppose other case, you are not giving the starting index, but you are giving the ending index. What actually it means? By default it will start access from the first location, that is from the 0th index till the last index, but not the last index. Is it right? Yes. Okay, you should be very careful in that. Okay, the last index always never be considered. Okay, it will not consider the last index, before that only. Suppose here if I mention 2, okay, if I write suppose example, uh, okay, just see, I'm creating a list 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so don't be confused. Okay, suppose list. Okay, so index is 4 in, okay, column. Now what will be the output? What will be the output? What will be the output? 1 2 3 and 4. Is it right? Okay. Why we are getting 1 2 3 4? Why? Because it is 0, it is 1. The address I am saying, the 0 address, 1 is holding the 0 address, 2 is holding the 1 address, 3 is holding the 2 address, 4 is holding the 3 address, 5 is holding the, like this. Okay, if I can type, see, these are the addresses: 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm giving up to 4 but not 4. Okay, up to only, up to that point only, but we should not consider that location. Is it clear for you? Okay, so why? Because mainly people will get confused at that point. Okay, like that. So this is something about different types of operators. Okay, what we have in list. Okay, next is set. Now what is set? A set is unordered collection of unique elements. Okay, this set will does not have any index values. Okay, and it does not have any no duplicate entries also. Okay, you can't have duplicate entries in the set. Is it right? So mainly it is used for identifying unique elements. Okay, so this is how you can create a empty set. You can have a set with some set of elements. Okay, so here we have few examples. A set. Okay, and we'll see about the split. You can split it, you can break the whole statement into individual elements. Okay, the whole one, the complete statement you can break, you can split it into words using split. Okay, we'll see split and some more functionalities of string in later on. See here, this another set is and my name John. Okay, so this is all the elements in this set are unique. Okay, see, the operations like insertion, difference, union can only be performed on the sets. Okay, understood? You can find out the difference, you can find out the union, you can club them together. Okay, you can intersect them. So these things can only performed with sets, and these are some of the set operations. You can get the length, length of set, You can test it whether the element is there in set or not. Okay, whether is subset of T, whether your substring is subset of T or not, is superset. See, all these things you are very familiar. Only thing is they are in the form of functions, okay, operations. Is it clear? See, all it is equivalent to this statements only. Okay, so fine. You can also have a copy of set also like this. So this is something about set. Now directly we are going with dictionaries. See, dictionaries are somewhat more powerful than list and what I can say tuples or strings. Okay, so I am saying more powerful because dictionary is also a data structure which is used for storing some content. Okay, so this list or tuple, they are using index as the address mechanism for storing the elements of the for storing their elements. Is it right? List and tuple, I am repeating once again. List and tuple, they are making use of indexes for storing the elements, for storing their elements. But dictionary will use hash keys. Okay, hashing technique. Do you remember hashing concept? So a hash key will be generated. So such kind of thing. So here it will use a concept of key value pair, key and value. Okay, so key is, I can say the address, I can say address. Okay, and value is the normal data what we want to store. Okay, so like that. So dictionary is a data structure which can store any kind of data. And how the data is stored? The data is stored in the form of key and value. Okay, so each element will have one key and its corresponding data. So key indicates the address. So here, see, you can see here. So keys are used instead of indexes. Okay, and value will store the data. So like that, this is how the dictionary differ from tuples and list. Okay, so dictionary are mutable. Mutable means what? You can update the things which are there in the dictionaries. Okay, for example, and here we'll be using flower brackets for creating the dictionaries. Okay, see different notations already I said. uh, Parentheses for tuple, square brackets for what? Square brackets for list. Okay, square bracket is for list and parenthesis is for parentheses, only parentheses without indexes is for set. Parentheses with key and value for dictionary. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, don't be confused, don't be confused. Okay, please make a note of all these things. Okay, so like this. So dictionaries are mutable means what? You can add the element, you can add an element into the dictionary, you can delete an element from the dictionary with the help of the address. Okay, you can modify. Okay, you can modify the things in the dictionary. So here one sample example. Okay, so phone book is one kind of dictionary I am creating without any elements. Okay, now here John and some number. So what is John? John is a key. Okay, and this, what is this number? Is a data. Okay, key and value. Okay, so this is one element. Okay, this is one element which is having a key which is holding like a index, like an address, and this is the value. Okay, so like that. See, these are another example which are having two elements. Okay, one is John. So John is the address of this data and Jill is an address of this data. So like that, you can have any number of data in the dictionaries. Okay. Next, we will see how to access the dictionaries. Okay. So dictionaries, I will let you know. I will explain different functionalities which are available with the dictionaries. Just a minute. So here, uh, see, fine. So these are able to see the things. Is it right? Okay. See here there are some different built-in functions which are available. So capitalize will capitalize the first letter, center, count, decode, encode, ends with. Okay. So most of the functionalities already you are aware about it. You can get the index position. Okay. Whether all are numeric characters or alphanumeric or not, you can test it. All these functionalities belong to the strings. Okay. You can test it whether is digit or not, any digits are there, or you can change it to lowercase. Okay. So like that you can change it to uppercase, you can find out the length. Okay. So like that these are all different types of functionalities. See, split strings accordingly with the help of the delimiter. Okay. Splitting means breaking the whole string into individual parts, that is substring. Okay. Is it clear? I want the response.
Yes.
Okay. So like that you can also test whether the string is starting with your desired element or not. So like that. Okay. So like that these are all the functionalities which belong to the strings, built-in functions, and these are all some built-in functions which belong to the list. Okay. So compare length, you can get the length of the list, maximum element, minimum element. Okay. You can convert the tuple into list also using this functionality. Okay. So these are some more methods which are available for list. For appending the data into the list, you can directly append the data into the list. Okay. Suppose you want to add some new element, you can add it using this functionality. You can count it. Okay. How many there are, how many elements are there. So list dot extend, you can append. So here also, see, appending can be done in how many ways? Appending and inserting. What is the difference between append and insert? Append will insert the data at the end, is it right? At the end of the list. Whereas using insert function, you can insert the data accordingly, depending upon your requirement. You can insert at location number 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it may be. Okay. So wherever you want to insert, you can insert using insert function. Okay. And append will always append the data at the last. Okay. See, suppose you want to extend your list. Okay. You want to extend the contents from one list to another list. So that is what extend function does. And you can also know the address locations, index numbers of the list using index. Okay. Like that. The next is you can pop. So pop will always remove the last element from the list. So remove also you can use. Okay. You can remove an element from the list. You can reverse the list. You can sort the list. Is it clear? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So these are some of the dictionary functions. See, you can compare two different dictionaries. You can find out the length of the dictionaries, how many elements are there. Okay. STR means printable representation. Whatever the information is there, the information will be represented in the form of a strings. For that purpose, we use STR function. Okay. These are all inbuilt functions. Okay, built-in functions which are available for dictionaries. You can also go for type. What type of information is there. Okay. And apart from that, see here, clear, dict.clear will remove all the elements from the dictionaries. Copy, you can have you can have one additional copy of the dictionary, and you can create a new dictionaries with the existing keys. Okay, are you getting or not? Are you getting?
Yes.
See, there is one dictionary. Already you have one dictionary. You want to create a new dictionary with the same keys. You can use this from keys functionality. Okay. And you can also get what key is there for the corresponding value. For example, here in the PPT, here, suppose you want to know the key for this data, what is the key you have, you can get it. Okay, so like that. And you can, that is what. and you can also check whether the key is there or not. Suppose you want to insert a new element into the dictionary. Okay. See, keys are unique. You need to have the unique keys. Okay. You can't have duplicate keys. Is it right? Keys are always unique. You can't have duplicate keys. Okay. So whenever you are inserting the data into the dictionary, you should check whether any key is existing or not. For that purpose, we have one functionality called as hash key. Okay, so hash key, you can give you the new key what you are trying to give. Suppose if already that key is existing, it will give false. If the key is not existing with that name, it will give true. Okay, so by seeing to that, you can come to know, yeah, the key is not existing. You can use that key in your dictionary. Understood? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that. Now items. Okay, so like that, these are some of the functionalities. Okay, you can get all the keys which are there in the dictionaries. You can get the values. You can update the dictionaries. Okay, so like that, these are some of the functionalities, built-in functionalities which are available for dictionaries. Okay, so this is what something about dictionaries.
So I have one question.
Yeah, you can.
I think like a hash key is for Python 2, right?
Sorry,
I mean the hash key.
can you?
I mean the hash key is
Yeah, hash key.
hash key is for Python 2, but Python 3 maybe is another one.
No. Can you type?
Method.
Can you type once? Can you type your message? Can you type your query? Whatever the query you have. Okay. We use hash key to check if key exists in right. Yes, hash key. Yes, you can use. Okay. Okay, right. So that is what. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what some in 2.7 some features were not there. So due to that, some functionalities were introduced, like hash key and compare. So lot many functionalities are there which were not utilized. Means they are being implemented in the form of a functions. But this has been overcome in Python 3. Okay. Okay, so like that, see here, uh, we'll go with mutable and immutable data types. So here we have categorized it. That is list, okay, set and dictionaries. Okay, so all these are mutable ones, and immutables are strings and tuples. You cannot add or you cannot delete or you cannot update it. Okay, so even though if you are trying to update it, what happens? The previous one gets deleted, garbage collected, and new one will be initialized. Understood? So like that. So the data types are categorized into two ways: mutable and immutable. Okay, is it clear? So
Yes.
strings and tuples are immutable. You can't modify them. And list, dictionaries, and sets are mutable. You can modify. You can add the elements or you can change it. Okay. So like that. So this is something about all the data structures what we have. Next, we directly go ahead with the functions. Okay. Now, what is a function? So a function contains some set of statements which are used for performing a specific task. Is it right? Function contains some set of statements which are used for performing some specified task. Is it right? Okay, so here you can use functions. Now how to define the function? We will be using def. If you want to create a function, we need to use def. So def is a keyword we'll be using if you want to create a function. So def followed by function name of the function, and followed by parentheses and a colon. Okay, understood? Okay, so if you see the syntax here, def function name and parameters and colons. So colon indicates the end of the header, end of the definition of the function. Okay, so this is how we create the functions, and all the statements, the suite of the function should have equal number of indentations. Okay, so inside the code block all the statements are equally indented. Okay, so that they should be equally indented. Okay, you can have another function with another indentations also, nested functions I can say, and the function will have return statement for returning some statements or with some expression also, like normally how we return in C or Java. Is it clear? So this is, yeah, any doubt? No. Okay, so this is something about function, how to create the function, how to define the function. Now calling the function. Now this is what something which you need to put some concentration. See what actually it means is, see, you can call the function. Okay, so how many ways you can call a function? The function can be called in two ways. How? See, you can call the function directly by making use of function name. Okay, you can call the function by directly with the help of the name of the function. But whenever you are calling the function, what is another thing we need to do? You need to pass some values to the function. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. So here in C or Java, the values can be passed in two ways. Either call by, you can call a function by passing the value. You can call a function by passing some address of the value. That is call by reference or call by value mechanism. Is it right? Do you remember the concept? Call by value, call by reference mechanism. Yes or no? You will be,
Not clear.
see, you will be calling a function, and meanwhile you need to send some value to the parameters. Is it right?
Yeah.
For example, if you see here, I am defining a function print str, and the argument is there. What is the parameter? str1. So str1 is a parameter of this function, and what is this string? This function is doing? It is printing one statement, and it is also printing what value this str1 is holding. Is it right? See here, at the end, what I am doing, I am calling this function by passing some value. I am passing the value called as calling the user defined function print str, something like that. To whom? To str1. Okay. I am calling this function with function name, and I am passing the value. I am passing something, some content to str1. Now this is what the output which I get. Okay. Initially, it will display this output, and after that it will display calling the user defined. Why? Because str1 is holding this value. Is it right? Yes or no? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So this is something about how to call the function and how to give some value to the parameters. Okay. The next thing is passing an argument. Okay, you should be a little bit careful over here. Yeah, fine. So what is that means? See, in C or Java, we will be passing. You can pass the values in two different ways: call by value and call by reference. That is, directly you can send the data, or you can give the address of the variables. But in Python, you can only pass, okay, the data, okay, for the parameters, That is, it uses only call by reference mechanism. So arguments are passed by, okay, are you getting? Are you getting or not? No? Okay, once again, I will repeat once again. In Python will support only call by reference mechanism. Whenever you are calling a function and whenever you are passing any values to the function, okay, so here it uses only call by reference mechanism. There is no concept of call by value. Understood? Understood or not? If you know call by reference mechanism, then you could have understood very easily. Is it right? See, in call by reference mechanism, what happens? Directly we give the address of the variables. For example, if you take C language, okay, I will show one example. See, suppose C function 1 in C language I am showing. Suppose int A, comma, int B. So like that a function is there. Okay. Suppose call by value. Suppose here A is equal to some 10 and B is equal to some 20. Okay. So there is one function called as function 1, and I am declaring x and y. Okay. Now in call by value, what I am doing means simply function 1 directly I am saying 30 comma 40. Is it right? I am calling the function, I am passing the values directly to x and y. Now what x will have? X is equal to 10, sorry, x is equal to 30 and y is equal to what? 40. This is what happens in call by value. And in call by reference, so what I am doing, instead of giving the values directly, I am saying function 1 ampersand. So address of A, ampersand will give address of A followed by address of B. Okay. So this is how call by reference mechanism works. Understood? So now X is having address of what? A, and Y is having address of B. Understood?
Okay.
Is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now see one major the main thing what you need to make a note is in call by references. Suppose now X is having the address of A. Okay, X is holding the address of A means what? X by making use of address of A, it can access the data which is there in that location. Is it right? Since X is having the address of A, whatever the modification X is doing, the modification will be reflected in this location also. Understood? Okay, see example, if I am sitting in your place, you are giving me the address, you are giving your home address for me. So what I can do, I can directly go to your home and I can do some modifications. Whatever the modifications I am doing in your home will be reflected or not. Is it right? Suppose if you are giving your laptop for me for 2 minutes, if I do some modifications, it will be reflected or not. Is it right? It will be reflected. Is it right? So that is the reason whatever the changes which do in call by reference mechanism, since we are giving addresses directly, the original value also get reflected when if you are doing any modifications. Is it clear now? Okay, yes or no? I want the reply. Is it fine? Okay, so fine. So that is the reason here whenever you are passing arguments to the function, in Python, okay, in Python, all the arguments are they are passed using call by reference. Understood? Whatever the information you are passing to the function, everything will be passed in the form of call by reference only. Is it clear? Yes? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. And you can pass immutable data types as well as you can also pass mutable data types also. You can directly give a list to one function. Directly you can give one dictionary, anything can be given. Okay. So like that. Here see, here is one example. Okay. See, you can clearly know, you can come to know about it. I am creating one function. The name of the function is change. It is having one parameter and it is incrementing the value by 1. Okay. C customer underscore D plus is equal to 1 means what? Customer ID is equal to customer ID plus 1. Okay. Then I am able to print the value and I am returning from there. See here, customer ID is equal to 100. I am printing the what this customer ID, whatever the value this customer ID, cust ID variable is holding, I am able to print it. Then I am calling the function. What is the function? Change. I am calling the function by function name and I am passing this value, that is cust ID, okay, what cust ID is holding, to this function. Now here, what I am doing, hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you see. Sorry. See, I am passing the value customer ID. Okay, so change customer ID. This customer ID, whatever I am passing here will be what is that? 100. Okay, so 100 will be given over here. So that is the reason initially I am printing 100. Then what I am doing? What I am doing? Hello.
Yes.
I am adding plus 1 to that. Is it right? I am adding plus 1 to that. Then I am able to print the statement. I am able to print the statement. Okay, customer ID. So that is the reason I am getting 101 as an output. Then I am coming out from the function. Next I am saying print customer ID after function invocation. Now customer ID. See, one thing will be coming into your mind. Sir, you said all the values, okay, whatever the changes you are doing for the variables will be reflected, but here there is no change. Is it right? That question might be coming in your mind. Yes or no? Yes. See, I am passing 100 to customer ID and I am incrementing the value of customer ID by 1. Is it right? Then after coming out from that, still I am getting 100 only. Why I am getting this 100? Why? Because in our Python, numbers are immutable. Means what? They are fixed. You can't change them. Okay, numbers, tuples and strings are fixed. You can't change them. You can't update it. You can't delete it. You can't modify it. Is it right? So that is the reason you can't do any kind of modification. Is it clear for you? Whereas if you take another example, see list. Okay, if you take this example, see, try to observe very carefully. See, I am having a list called as change, same function. Okay, I am trying to append it. I am trying to append some new values into the list. Okay, see, I am creating a list and I am printing those values. Then I am calling the function by giving these new values to this function. Now what function is doing? Function is trying to append the new values, some other values into the existing list. function is trying to append some new values into the existing list. Okay, then it is done. Then again it is appended. Then I am able to print it. Then finally I am printing the list. Okay, since list is mutable, whatever the changes we are trying to do, okay, whatever the changes which the function is trying to do inside the list are reflected. Okay, so finally you will be getting the output like this: 100, 101, 102, and since you have appended, you will be getting 10, 20, 30 also. Why? Why? Because list is mutable. Mutable in the sense you can, whenever a function is trying to do any changes, those changes are reflected. Is it clear? Okay, so don't be confused. Okay, so like that. So these are different types of arguments. Okay, you can have in the functions. This is a normal way, required arguments. So whatever the arguments you are mentioning in the functions, compulsory you need to pass. Okay, and this is the keyword arguments. Now what is keyword arguments? Keyword arguments means what? Suppose these are all the arguments. You can have some see one small thing I want to say. In a function, if the first argument is str1 and if the second argument is str2, suppose if you are passing some values to that function, then what happens? See, okay, I will give one. I will show in the notepad. Okay, see here. Check once here. See, see what is x? There is some x and there is some y. Is it right? If I say function 1 30 comma 40, what happens? This 30 will be given to whom? 30 will be given to x and 40 will be given to y. So based upon the positions of the parameters in the function, okay, what values you are sending, that values will be given to the parameters according to their positions. Try to understand what I am saying. Is it clear? X is there in the first position, y is there in the second position. So whatever the value which is there in the first position will be given to x. Why? Because x is residing in the first position. Y is there in the second position. That is the reason 40 is assigned to y. Is it clear for you? Now my requirement is, irrespective of the position, whether x is there in the first location or y is there in the second location, I want to change the positions now. Okay, see, I want to change the position. See here, what is there in the first location? Customer ID is there. Is it right? What is there in the second position? Customer name is there. Whenever I am calling the function, I want to pass customer name as the first position and ID as the second position. Now this can be done with the help of keyword argument. Only thing is, directly you need to use the keyword, whatever the parameter name you have in the function and what value you want to pass it, directly you can pass it. Is it right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the help of the keyword argument, you can change the positions of the parameters. Okay, so like that. This is something about keyword argument. Next is a default argument. Okay, so see here we have one function called as customer details. Suppose sometime the person who is calling this function, he might give some values or he might not give some values also. Please try to understand. Hello, are you getting? Please try to understand very carefully. See, a function is having two variables. So whenever you are calling a function, definitely you should give two values. Is it right? Okay, compulsory you need to give two values. Suppose what you want to do means, suppose a person is not giving, suppose you are not interested to give two values, you want to fix some value to the parameter, that is your requirement. Whether the person is giving the value or not, you want to fix some value to that. Okay, you want to fix the value. See here, customer name and customer age. I want to fix the age. I want to give some default value to the age, but still you can modify. That is what I mean to say. If you want to fix such kind of things in the function, this can be done by giving the default values. Okay, using assignment operator, you can fix the value to the parameter. Okay, are you getting or not? Is it clear what I am saying? With the help of default argument, you can fix the values to the function parameters, irrespective of whether the value is given by the person or not. See the example. See, this is what the function. I am fixing the value. I am calling the function. See here, customer details. Current age is equal to 25, and customer name is equal to John. Customer age is 25. Customer name is John. What output I will get? I will get customer details. Okay, then what is the customer name? John. And what is the customer age? 25. See, you can change the default value to your desired value also. Okay, now second example. See, second time when I am calling the function, I am giving only customer name. You can call a function in this manner also. Why? Because you are fixing the value of age. That is the reason still you can call it. Okay, so this is what the output. Okay, so since you are giving only customer name John, and since the value is fixed, you are giving by default, you are getting the age as 30. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, fine. So this is something about default argument. It's a variable argument. Suppose in some situations you don't know how many arguments you want to give. You are unable to decide. Understood? Suppose you are writing a function which is doing the job of maintaining the details of a student. For example, a student details, it can have serial number, name, roll number. Is it right? And you can also store address. That is what. You don't know how many arguments you want. Okay, in such kind of cases, what we do means we go for variable length arguments. Okay, so here directly you can put star over here. It indicates you don't know how many arguments you want to have in your function. Is it clear? Then later on, see here, if you see this example, I don't know how many arguments I want to be there in my function, but still later on I want to have more number of, I want to pass more number of arguments. Okay, hello, is it clear? Are you getting what I am saying? See, generally if the function is containing two arguments, then that function will hold only two values. Here the case is different. You are unable to decide how many arguments the function wants. In such kind of cases you can use star. Okay, so it dynamically decides based upon how many values you are sending. Suppose if you are sending 4 values to that function, so 4 different types of arguments are created dynamically. Okay, so depending upon the number of values you are sending, those many number of arguments are created dynamically. Is it right? Are you getting? See here, for example, customer details. I am calling this function and I am passing how many values? 1, 2, 3, 4 values I am passing. But here how many are there? Only one, and second one is the variable length argument. Okay, so name John is, so John is given to name, and these 3 George, Jim and Harry are given to the variable. Okay, these 3 variables are created dynamically, and each variable will hold one value. Okay, so that is the reason. And I'm okay. So here you can, whenever you are using these type of things, you need to use for loop. You can use for loop for accessing, for printing those elements. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, what if only star? Yeah, you can have any. You can have any name. It is not like var tuple or something like that. Understood? You can have any name here. Generally, it will work like a tuple. It stores all the elements what you are sending. Is it clear? It is like a tuple. Okay. So this is what. So this is scope, local variable, global variable. Already you are aware about it. Okay. If you are mentioning the variables within that function, they are local to that. If the variable is declared outside that function, you can access anywhere, wherever you want. Okay. So these things you are already aware. Okay. And global, you can also, suppose you have one variable inside a function, you want to access the variable outside the function also, then you can use global keyword. Okay, so it will help you to access the variable outside the function also. Okay, so like that. So this is what which I have planned for today's session. Is it right? Is it clear? So I will be sending you
Yes.
assignment exercises regarding all the concepts what I have discussed today. So make it sure, okay, in doing this. Is it clear? Fine. Okay. Any doubts or shall I stop? Okay. I want reply from all. Please send me the reply.
Will you post it the slide?
Hello. Is it okay?
Have you posted the PowerPoint online?
Sorry.
It's cute.
Can you type?
Oh,
Oh, oh, oh. I should come.
Is it okay? Right.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then thank you. Okay. Thank you for listening. Right. 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 Thanks. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Right.
Do we have class tomorrow?
Sorry.
Do we have tomorrow?
What? What?
Tomorrow we will have class.
Uh, exactly. I don't know. I will let you know by our colleague. Okay. I will let you know through it. Okay.
Okay.
Just a minute. Okay.
没钱了，都放了呢，
没钱了，大家都
我也起好了。
大家都没钱，早点卖去。
找富婆是包养我。
切，起来。
偷哪儿了？没找着。对不对？偷的。
怎么偷了？
呀，就是要
等一下，他还在等，要等他1分钟，确定明天有没有上课。哎呀，好饿，我回去吃饭。
影响，可以不让你下，在这看，偷看你把这个
完全给到了。
哇，全是这边好拍的，
我跟你说，有时候都是从就是
那又怎么下？它就是那怎么样？
你们看，
PPT，不过也是人家自己做的。
不过他其实他这边算是跟那个就是跟其他语言。
好，80啊，关键是知道我这个拍报的是4拍。
你是叫 Chris Nagria？
哦
Chris Nagria。多少个1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、12。
每天晚上放这么多事儿，
肯定女生做的，好吧？考虑半指定。跟他的顾客说，啊，我住那边都没有矿泉水的饮水机，然后有些人说没有，大家都是喝那个自来水里面出来。我不能喝那些，那就让我生病的。就是一个印度人，然后那个美国人就很无语的告诉他说，如果你不能喝，你可以去买水。大家很多人都去买。
Yeah, guys.
Oh, no.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, just see, I'll be sending the exercises for your mail IDs, and please try to forward what are the solutions you are getting to my email ID. Is it right?
Okay.
Okay.
So do we have a class tomorrow?
Sorry. Do?
We will have class tomorrow.
Can you type, please? I'm unable to get what you are saying. Tomorrow class. You are saying about tomorrow's class?
Yes.
Tomorrow we don't have class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So you will be having class on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Hello. And
Yes.
send the solutions to the exercises for my mail ID only. Is it right? So I'll be giving my mail ID. Okay. Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
నేను నాకు ఫార్వర్డ్ చేసుకుంటాను నా నుంచి వరకు
作业，他说到底作业。
我操！
啊。
那他们在商量，一会儿有，一会儿没有，这种嘛。
他肯定是说他们那边周六。
周日的不了。
对他那边今天是周六。
对。
哎，好饿，走回家。
I'm closing the meeting. Okay, I'm closing the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right.
You since we didn't receive anything. Oh. 发了没东西，
他发没东西，你给他回一下。